Hey everybody, Ali Madawi in here, and tonight on Eatontown Voices, the Netflix pilot, what it pays, who it pays, and why everybody keeps saying $47 million up front when it's not quite that. Is this smart risk management or a missed chance for guaranteed school funding? We'll break it down without the spin, just the numbers, the law, and your options. And yes, we'll answer the questions. Can the borrow slow walk spending and what happens in year 30? Segment 1, what the pilot actually is. Let's translate the jargon, shall we? Pilot means payment in lieu of taxes. By New Jersey statute, every pilot dollar splits 95% to the municipality and 5% to the county. Schools are not a direct recipient under this law. Land taxes still exist on the dirt underneath. Those land tax dollars continue to be allocated across all taxing jurisdictions the usual way. The pilot covers the improvements, i.e., the studio complex, replacing conventional property tax on that portion with a contractual defined payment. So the financial agreement memorializes how payments work once the site is complete, whether late 2027 or 2028. The formula applies. Segment 2, the famous $47 million everyone is talking about. So about that $47 million up front, it's not a check in a briefcase. It's a bond proceeds from non-resource redevelopment area bonds issued by the borough and purchased by Netflix. Borough issues the bonds, Netflix buys the bonds, proceeds land in the borough construction funds, and then funds are drawn for eligible capital projects. Key point from the hearing: the bonds are paid solely from a pledged slice of the pilot, the pledged annual service charge, not borrow taxpayer guaranteed. That's what the non-resource means. Proceeds can be issued in tranches, so the IRS 3 years spent down clock starts each time you borrow, not on day one of the ordinance. You earn interest while cash sits, but cannot legally arbitrage beyond the bond rate, about 5%, except in narrow exceptions. Again, think mortgage. Debt service amortizes. Each semi-annual payment mixes interest and principal. Outstanding principal trends to zero. So yes, council can stage projects, 5 million here, 20 million there, and each with its own 3-year spend plan. It's flexibility with rules. Segment 3, access municipal of the $49.5 million over time. So separate from the $47 million capital bucket, there is a second benefit. Ongoing municipal pilot revenue above the pledged debt service, often summarized about $49.5 million over time in projection. That's the excess municipal column that we all heard about. So in bucket A, we have capital projects from bond proceeds. In bucket B, we have excess municipal. That is annual revenue enters the operating budget as miscellaneous revenue. This second bucket is where council members repeatedly said they'd share with the schools year by year by policy choice, because the statute does not send pilot dollars straight to the Board of Education. Future councils appropriate annually. We have spoken with BOE leaders. Intent is to support schools, capital or debt relief on a recurring basis. Translation: Trenton wrote the recipe, but Eatontown chooses the seasoning. Segment 4. Why do a pilot to begin with? Well, the short answer is simply this: valuation uncertainty and tax appeal risk. Multiple assessors and Netflix couldn't agree on a stable market value for something that's not like anything here. Ranges floated from $220 million to $400 million. In conventional taxations, big commercial sites appeal values, and when towns lose, the town budget refunds. Schools don't. So pilots' contractual payment, known schedules, reduce litigations, and they want acceleration of benefits via bonds. Also, studios don't bring school children. There will be public safety calls, but officials expect less service burdens than dense housing. Segment 5, defaults, liens, and what ifs. What if Netflix misses a land tax bill? Well, the borough can sell the lien, the financial agreement continues. What if Netflix sells? The pilot runs with the land, not the company. The trustee structure keeps the pledged payments flowing to bondholders. The unpledged municipal share takes priority before the bondholder distribution. Another protection flag that was brought up in the meeting. And no, council cannot promise year 31 to year 60 today. At year 30, absent new qualifications for improvements in the property reverts to conventional taxation. If future improvements qualify, a new program could be considered under then current law. Segment 6, Community Benefits Agreements, or CBA, is totally separate. So don't mix the CBA with the pilot. The CBA is required under the Aspire program and targets benefits to underserved communities, dollars and service. It has its own public hearing and its own pot. Portions may be attached to Aspire related funding. The mayor himself noted a $5 million closing related payment is expected within 10 business days of closing, with an effort to receive it earlier so council can formally accept before December. Segment 7, schools. Can we guarantee money for our schools? A resident asked in the open Q&A the question everyone wanted to ask. Could the pilot have guaranteed school funding? The legal answer on air, no. The statute splits pilot dollar only municipality versus county, the 5 and the 95%. But council stressed a policy commitment to allocate access municipal to schools, either direct grants, i.e. teacher mini grants, arts, lab fit outs, or covering BOE debt service so school taxpayers don't have to. Segment 8, what residents asked for. Now, this was from the mic. Arts, theater, they wanted performing arts center, instruments, lighting and sound, community use venue. Athletics, well, turf, save soccer turf for softball, baseball, a 60-90 field, wrestling mats and storage for them, upgraded weight rooms, turf to end rainouts, STEM and labs, real lab spaces with plumbing and services, daily lab exposures, VR equipment, reading tools, and accessibility and ground where parking lots, pads, lighting, safe traffic will flow better. Youth spaces, teen recreation, after-school programs, mall-era gathering alternatives. Public safety fields, mitigate dirt bike damage at 80 Acre, a place where I coach. Now, the message is heard. Invest where kids learn, create, and play, and make it accessible and safe. Segment 9, traffic and the mall. Residents raise traffic and population growth from Monmouth Mall housing, 1,000 units, and studio activity in Netflix. The response, county and state road authorities have pushed costs to the developer on impacted roads. The borough is watching for shared service and grant opportunities. We paved Industrial Way West. When the utility crew came, the ancient circle of New Jersey infrastructure was fulfilled. All right, segment 10, taxes and certainty. Can the borough guarantee your property tax won't rise? Now, no one can, but officials emphasized, 1, capital gets covered by the $47 million bucket, reducing the pressure on taxpayer. 2, Access Municipal adds recurring revenue if treated prudently to smooth the budget. 3, studios won't add school children, lowering one big cost driver. State budgeting rules mean you cannot book new revenues until you actually receive them for a year or 2. So the benefit phases in, not overnight. Segment 11, quick FAQ. This was a rapid fire that I'm going to give for you. Is the $47 million a gift from Netflix? No. It's a bond proceeds from borough-issued Netflix purchases bond repaid from a pledge slice of the pilot. Do we have to spend it in 3 years? Answer, the 3-year clock starts per issuance. Council can stage borrowing by project. Why not just tax it like normal? Well, the answer is valuation volatility and tax appeal risk. Pilot buys certainty and front loads benefits. Can we force pilot money to schools? Answer, not by statute, but council can appropriate access municipal to school annually. What if Netflix sells or defaults? The pilot runs with the land. For land tax delinquencies, the borough can sell the lien and the financial agreement will still continue. What happens in year 30? Well, the answer is pilot ends, property reverts to conventional taxations unless new qualifying improvements support a new program under then current law. So the bottom line, the Netflix pilot is a certainty play. Trade volatile tax base for contractual payments. Unlock capital now without putting taxpayers on the hook, and use access municipal, wisely might I add, to support school and services. Now here's your homework. Show up for the CBA hearing with specific coasted ideas, performing arts, labs, turf, teen space. The statute sets the lanes, but we steer the car. This was Eatontown Voices, a Netflix workshop edition. I'm Ali Madawi. I'll see you at the next meeting, preferably before the vote. See you next time.